So ye Nogoy muta time o minna.
At the time that Nogoy was arrested,
Nogoy ko nko bankutiyo fongontol malafala.
Nogoy said to them that we do not want the person who is heading the country at this moment. And that was Yaya Jammeh.
So Nogoy ko hanmilla falantol fatalal.
Nogoy said to them, if there is anyone that loves him, we also don't, we despise that person.
We even detest those who love him.
Yes.
Exactly.
Proceed, please.
So
So our people were one after the other thrown onto the truck.
Do you know how many?
We are 26 in number.
We were 26 in number.
Do you know them of head? All of them? Or tell us as many as you know.
Myself, Modungam. Kafubayo.
Ibrahima
Jabang.
Ibrahima Solo Sandeng. Lamin Sonko.
5.
Lang Marong. Nogoy Njai. Fatou Kamara. Fatoumata Jawara. Lassana Biaye. Ibrahima Janko Cissé. Modou Touré. Khalilou Sedikan. Ibrahima Jadama. Boubacar Jite.
What Jite?
Boubacar Jite. Boubacar Dia. Boubacar Touré. Baba Cissé. Alaji Fati. Ousmane Ndiaye. Sader Seka.
5 more. 21.
Kekuta
Yabo.
4 more. Modungom Kafubayo, Ibrahima Jabang, Ibrahima Solo Sandeng, Lamin Sonko, Lang Marong, Nogoy Njai. You forgot Lamin Sonko is Yafai, right?
Yeah.
Nogoy Njai, Fatou Kamara, Fatoumata Jawara, Lassana Biaye, Ibrahima Janko Cissé, Modou Touré, Khalilou Sedikan, Ibrahima Jadama, Baboucar Jite, Baboucar Dia, Baboucar Touré, Baba Cissé, Alaji Fati, Pa Ousmane Ndiaye, Sader Seka.
Before I forget them.
Okay. Maybe you may remember later, all right? Yes. So 26 of you were arrested.
And 2 students.
All right. So where were you taken?
In Samba PIU.
We are taken to the PIU.
Where is the PIU located, or was it located?
PIU Iba Kanifine.
They are in Kanifing.
And what happened at the PIU?
When we got to the PIU, we were taken into a hall. The hall is the paramilitary hall. But when we got there, we were asked to sit on the floor. I sat by the door. But before that, I saw Yankuba Koli came in, putting on a red hat, and he was rushing in. And he was clapping on the paramilitary.
Clapping for the paramilitary. He was cheering the paramilitary. Okay.
Job well done, job well done.
He was telling them, job well done, job well done. That was where I heard him say to Nogoy Knox, you have planned a coup d'etat. And Nogoy said to him, someone who is holding a banner and a whistle, how can such a person plan a coup d'etat? And that was how we kept quiet.
So we
were there. The security heads came. I saw the senior Mbaifal amongst them.
You mean the senior Baifal?
Yes.
Usman Sonko, Interior Minister.
Usman Sonko, the Interior Minister.
You call him a Baifal, huh?
He said that over television. I was sitting and I heard him.
Baifal would be my father. They are senior Baifal. All right.
Baifal
Baifal, please.
Baifal keba ngaji.
Afo
Baifal.
Sorry, thank you.
Baifal, yeah.
Baifal. I saw him there.
Paralia salute.
He was saluted by the para.
Presidential Guard Commander Gege.
I saw the commander of the Presidential Guards.
General Solbaji.
General Solbaji.
NIA director.
I saw the director of the NIA. Who was Yankuba Baji.
Another deputy, Luis Richard Gomez.
And his deputy, Luis Richard Gomez.
Another operation commander.
And his operations commander.
Sheikh Omar Dieng.
Sheikh Omar Dieng.
IG Fanangege.
I saw the IG.
Yankuba Sonko.
Yankuba Sonko.
Fenke Fanangege, Lambiai.
I saw Langbiai.
Naboda Sate Kiline.
We are from the same village.
Yereng. NIA long.
He's an NIA officer.
Ako Kafubayo ko ba Kafu.
He said to Kafubayo, elder, my father, by Kafu. What got you into this, given that you are such an elderly person? But you will know.
I the same level for Lamin Jata.
He said the same thing to Lamin Jata. And he said to him, my father, Lamin Jata. What got you into this? This large family of yours. That was when
Commissioner Sane Duntana.
Commissioner Sane came in.
This boy is among their leader.
And he said this boy is among their leaders.
Who was he referring to?
Abante Modungom.
He was referring to me, Modungom.
And I know going Fanam point.
And he also pointed to Nogoenjai.
Interior Minister
and said to the Interior Minister, this one is also amongst their leaders.
But Solo Sunday Mate Fai Motobakono.
But Solo Sandeng was not thrown on the truck.
Yate Samba Keraba station.
He was taken to the Karaba station.
Mia Samba Keraba station.
The person that took him to the Karaba station.
Wolong Commissioner Sane.
That was Commissioner Sane.
Ngaja Commissioner Sane Buff explain Kang IGA.
I saw Commissioner Sane explaining it to the IG at the PIU.
So a camera nati PIU.
They brought in a camera at the PIU. And he was standing over us. So
yes, all right, proceed.
Okay.
It was pointed at us.
So camera nyimbalori molkanye.
The camera was pointed at us. And that was how they picked me up.
And
Nogoenjai.
We need proper electoral reforms dialogue with IEC, a banner.
And the banner, which had the inscriptions, we need a proper electoral reform and dialogue with the IEC. He told me to read it. But I refused to read it.
So this
NIA boy who was amongst us, who was called Tunkara, he told the NIA that I'm doing my work.
UDP supporter.
I am not a supporter of the UDP.
So I was doing my job. And
all of us were surprised.
You were shocked. He was a mole. He infiltrated you. Just like the maids, many of the maids in our homes, many were NIA agents. So your PPP militant, so-called PPP militant, was also an NIA agent.
Wallahi malong wolon defonga anko nyi NIA long abankono ngom foy ko bari makairo fenete janne.
That was when the day I knew that he was not one of us, was an NIA agent.
That's the day I know.
That's the day I knew that, well, disaster has happened to us. But he turned the word around, Makairo. Makairo means something that is peaceful, but in the sense that he meant it is something that is ugly.
So jelon nogo injay kay ko je. Itam UDP supporter.
That was where Nogoy Njai said to him, "You are a UDP supporter."
Ako ndabanne do ko la Nogoy Njai kay do furol fon officialité.
He said to him, "I'm doing my work," and Nogoy said to him, "Even the carcass of a dead of a vulture is better than you."
So jelong ye ko so kafubayo ani Ibrahima Jabe mo point no yente wulindi solo nogoy so kabriye solo bonni nang Keraba station solo nata kodo babulo.
So when Solo was brought from the Keraba station, he was brought to the same place, and at that time he was having some money with him.
Abatararim pichik.
He was sweating all over.
So atara si Falan Sonko bala.
He went and sat by Falan Sonko.
Ada dondika ko be sinanta tarola.
His white shirt was soaked in sweat.
So jelong solo ko commissioner Sandeng so kol langando ma kol mboko do dilela asina kamme bulu Serekunda station.
Solo said appeal to Commissioner Sane to allow him to make a call to his younger brother that he was going to leave some monies with him and that the younger brother will come to the station and collect it from him.
So solo 5,000 o diala ay solo fu telephone solo yala brother call ama Sandeng.
Solo gave him 5,000 and he borrowed him a telephone and he called his brother Ama Sandeng.
How do you know that it was $5,000?
Solo la fonye.
Because Solo was the one that told me.
What did he say to you?
Konya ko mba kodo dila nyina wuli lulu pura dinna brother Ama Sandeng.
He said to me, "I'm giving money 5,000 to this guy so that he could hand it over to my brother Ama Sandeng."
So Ama Sandeng fana.
So Ama Sandeng too.
Ama Sandeng kabla kata kodota.
When he was going to pick up the money,
I said dola ka fongola.
He took along a witness.
Yeah.
Wala barin nimoti.
That is his nephew.
Atata Serekunda station.
He went to Serekunda station.
Ularo.
In the evening.
Ay nyininkaro ke Jamalon Commissioner Sane.
And he inquired about who Commissioner Sane was.
Commissioner Sane tata wuli kilin kemedul ledi solo Sandeng na brother.
Commissioner Sane gave only 1,500 to Solo's younger brother Ahmad.
Ayela kodi tokang.
And he took the rest of it.
Where is this Commissioner Sane?
Commissioner Sane saying ale.
About Dokola police headquarters.
He is working at the police headquarters.
But how do you know this? How did you come to know this?
Yo kabri mbula December 8.
When we were released on the 8th of December.
So mbige for 2 weeks kono.
I was home for 2 weeks.
Narata Sandeng Kunda kata sulo sango kontong ala mulia.
Then I went to Sandeng Kunda to pay my respects, my condolences to the family.
Ndara Sandeng Kunda nga kontong diroke.
I went there, I paid my condolences.
Nga Abba Sandeng taraje.
I found Abba Sandeng there.
Anin solo Sandeng bama fulul.
And Solo Sandeng's mother and her co-wife.
So nye kontong.
I greeted them.
So nye nyininka.
Then I asked them.
Lungo minna ye muta.
The day that we were arrested.
Solo dingola futu city kodo.
The dowry of Solo's daughter.
Because
the marriage was to be officiated on Sunday, according to what Solo told me.
So Solo konyako unko amayko I will kodole di commissioner sane pura adila.
Solo told me that that was the money that he handed over to Commissioner Sandeng, Sane to give to Ahmad.
So Solo la brother bulo dina konye to nyalong.
Solo's brother shook my hand and said to me, "It's true."
Akonya ko bar Commissioner Sane 1,500 le dintela ako.
But he said to me, Commissioner Sane gave me only 1,500 and said that
Solo tata dami yamna muruna namba.
That where Solo has gone to, whether it is going to be possible,
whether he will
return
back.
So ngawo kolo wole nyama.
That was how I got to know about this issue.
Sandeng Kunda la ngako kiskis.
I went to Sandeng Kunda and investigated.
So wonata wo fonya wole nyama.
And that was what he told me.
So while at the PIU,
PIU,
3 of you were selected. Yourself, Nogoy Njai, and Solo Sandeng. What happened after?
So Londi,
we were made to stand.
So Ibrahim Jabang Tokumandi.
They called Ibrahim Jaban's name.
Now
Chairman Kafubayo.
So former IG, Mimu Interior Minister TB.
The former IG, who is the Interior Minister today. And he told them to put me on chains.
So
my hands were chained. At that time, the paramilitary had secured all the surrounding environment. You would not even have space to spittle. That was when Commissioner Sane said Nogoy Njai,
former president.
That she said that she does not like the former president. And Nogoy Njai said, yes, that is what is it? What it is, I don't like him.
So Kabri Yenkin.
So when we were chained,
they
brought a camera. At the time, 3 pickups were being prepared.
So NIA director they need us in NIA premises.
The NIA director, I think, and Solbaji said that they needed us at the NIA premises.
Who was the NIA director?
NIA director
Yankuba Baji.
Yankuba Baji.
Proceed, please.
So Kabri Woketa.
After that,
so in Atanteni Nogoy Blandi Pico Pokon.
They took me and Nogoy Njai into a pickup.
Sita Pico Pokoma.
We sat behind.
Kabinole middle fenko.
The middle seat.
So parado sita jan, sita jan.
And a paramilitary was sitting on either side of us.
So Solo Sandeng.
So Solo Sandeng.
Yodundi pick up follow kono nyato.
He was taken into the first pickup in front.
So Ibrahim Jabang and Kafubayo.
Ibrahim Jabang and Kafubayo.
Yodundi pick up flanjang kono. Pick up sabanjang kono.
They were taken into the third pickup.
So in all, how many of you were taken?
We are 5
Molulu. We were 5.
Good. So proceed, please.
So, ngaje operation commander se Omar Jeng.
I noticed that the operations commander, Se Omar Jeng,
ngaja sita pickup nyato.
He sat in front of the pickup.
Among kontong.
He did not greet us.
Mfanama kontong.
We too did not greet him.
Mbasiring.
We were sitting.
Nga Solbaji moy.
I heard Solbaji.
Anindigal keba.
And the Elden Digal.
Who is Ndigal Keba?
Malum Ndigal Kebati.
Usman Sonko, Interior Minister.
Usman Sonko, the Interior Minister.
I thought he was Chief Baifal.
Yes, that was what he said.
So he was Chief Baifal. He was also Ndigal Keba. Okay, proceed.
So Ndigal Keba ko en samba NIA.
The elder Ndigal said that they should take us to the NIA.
And in Solbaji.
And Solbaji.
So in Samba Walenyam.
So that was how they took us.
So nada for Denton Bridge.
We went up to Denton Bridge.
Nga operation commander se Omar Jeng.
I saw the operations commander, Se Omar Jeng.
I call ke.
Make a call. and told them to open the main gate of the NIA premises. The gate that is facing the back of the High Court. The vehicles came in and then went in. After the vehicles went in, the paras had secured all the place. We were brought down. The 5 of us were made to stand. They brought a cameraman who took footages of us. So and we were marched into their hall. So say solo Sandeng kumandi. And then they called Solo Sandeng. Yala fingerprinter. He took his fingerprints. So ngaje ko solo fengo femba bala a be bondi. And then we saw them telling Solo to remove everything that was on his body. So inatata. So they went with him. Ibandra fingerprinter kang. When they were taking my fingerprint, they said to me, if God wills it and Yaya Jammeh is still in charge here, you will never have work in this country. So that was when Nogonjai responded, talked back to them. Nogonjai said to them, we don't even wish to work for him. So they told Nogonjai to be quiet. So they took our fingerprints and then we had Solo crying.
How do you know it was Solo crying?
I recognize his voice and I know him very well because I'm very close to him.
What time did you guys arrive at the NIA during this time?
After 6.
After 6
p.m.
Yeah.
At that time, were there many people at the NIA premises as far as you know?
Yes, I saw paras there. I saw civilians who were not dressed in uniforms. And all over the place, anywhere you looked, you saw paramilitary standing armed with AK-47s.
And after hearing Solo's cries, what happened?
So ngaje Nogoi Samba.
I saw them take Nogoi away.
So do you recall who took her away?
No, I did not know who took her away. That was the first day seeing him.
So I had
Nogois protesting that you will not undress me. 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 So later I heard her screaming. I heard her saying La ilaha illallah Muhammadu Rasulullah. I heard her cursing them, insulting them.
So
I was there. They took me.
So yen samba bunjang santo.
They took me upstairs. Myself and Kafubayo.
So in a statement otaje.
They took our statements.
They
asked me if we are married. I told them I have never gotten a wife and I have never gotten any child.
So yen statement ota.
They took down my statement.
So Kafule statement ota.
They took Kafu's statement.
So duma while si bajabam fana statement ota kang.
Downstairs they were taking also Jabang's statement.
Do you know whether a statement was taken from Nogoi before you heard her screaming?
No, Nogoi monsonka statement o safe.
She did not accept to give a statement.
And we all fonte.
And that was what they said to me.
So iko solo fana ye baulenkela ka statement o safe.
They said Solo also refused completely to give a statement.
So yente nyininka.
So they asked me.
Konye ko altole ka UDP nkol kumandi
You are the people that used to call for secret meeting of the UDP in Tuyareng. I told them that is the way things are. And they said to me, you are the people who are always opposing the president.
So Usman Sonko
I saw Usman Sonko climb upstairs and they saluted him.
And
General Solbaji. They saluted them.
So Kabi salute ko.
After they saluted them, they said that the vultures will have us as dinner.
Or
we go 9 meters deep. They said Nogo Njai has denied that.
And solo.
So
ye statement otambulu.
They took the statements from us.
What did you understand them to mean when they suggested to you that you would go 9 feet deep or you would be dinner for the vultures? Because
they said that we have started trouble in the country. And we did not have any permit. And the people who sent us or who tasked us to do this, we are not prepared to reveal their names. They said what happened in Tunisia in 2011, which was the Arab Spring. They said that is the type of turmoil that we want to bring on in this country. And there and then, they asked me if I knew Dr. Ahmad Skatrujane. They said he is someone who used to speak badly about the president, and they suspected that it was him and others who put us into this, what we are doing. And his associates, they said amongst them was the Tafa Sose,
Matthew K. Jallo, Banka Mane, Ibrahima Diba, how to call it, Coach Pasamba Jau, Mr. Mbenga, Usienu Mbenga. Another brother, I forget his name, is also Mbenga.
Sol Mbenga.
And his brother Sol Mbenga.
Okay, ye thank you for accused Fatou Sow.
Fatou Sow was also accused.
Fatou Kamara. Anderimbai. Dekoye Melong.
I told them that I did not know them.
And how about Bamba Mas?
Bamba Mas fanam fo ko ni wo muta wala batale simondi ani Suntu Touré.
Yes,
there was ani Lamin Sadam Sanyang ani Karim Touré.
And Lamin Sadam Sanyang and Karim Touré.
So ye nyimol accuse back and ko ani Chorna Ndiaye mi December 31st attack ni sponsor ani Papa Fall.
Chorna Ndiaye Papa Fall. I told them I did not know all of these people.
So ikonye ko nogo Ndiaye kabinga na rajanga ko ulum banko dinkendo leti adiati tolle.
They said to me that Nogo Njai, when she came, she said that those people are patriots and it is pleasing to them what they did.
So, eko nyimol mu banko jaw baleti, especially fenke nying Suntu Touré, Bamba Mas, Lamin Sadam Sanyang, kata Chorna Njai, kana Papa Fall, ibe eko imu banko.
They say Suntu Touré and Papa Fall and the others are enemies of the state.
Who said that?
NIA for Minuba interrogate camp.
It was the NIA officers who were interrogating us.
You have told us that these people were there. Usman Sonko, General Sol Baji. And Yankuba Baji. Who else was present?
All of them were seated in the panel.
Who else was in the panel?
I did not recognize other people.
They are public figures.
The reason why I recognize these people is because they were public figures.
Proceed, please.
So after yen samba, yen na dondi ko wura.
After they took me, they removed my shirt.
Where did they take you?
Yes, samba
yen samba selo kono. Yen na kuto urambala because na kuto belto la babala yen na kuto ula yen fay selo kono. Susulalla follow yen bismillah.
They took me into a cell. My trousers was having a belt. They removed the trousers and they threw me into the cell, and I was welcomed by mosquitoes.
Did they leave you with your clothes, with your shirt?
Yela don't go to Ibala Bang.
Later, they removed that, and I'm yet to come to that.
Did they leave you with your briefs?
That was the only thing they left on me.
So I
was there. They brought Solo. Solo was very weak. When he came in, he did his to beckon to me and gestured his hand into his mouth. At that time he was thirsty and he was losing blood. They threw urine at the corner. The one who threw the urine, I don't know who. He completely masked his face. But he had a big torchlight. I saw him place Solo on it. Solo was groaning. And he was telling me, Mr. Ngom, give me water.
After this, just cut out everything about Solo.
Okay.
Because there is an ongoing case.
Okay, fine.
And we don't want to deal with that to affect that case in any way.
Okay.
So proceed with regards to what happened to you and your other colleagues.
Okay.
I saw Nogoy being brought in.
At this stage, did anything happen to you apart from your clothes being taken off? I
saw a list being brought. And the Kafubayo was called. I saw them take Kafu. I heard his screams. But before they came to take him away, they came and opened the door to the cell. And they said, the famous Modungom, come out. When I came out, the man removed my shirt and told me, let's go. So the manner in which he turned me around, that was the same time that he put a black plastic bag over my head.
What kind of plastic bag, if you can recall?
Just the nylon black bags.
Is there anything written on it?
I cannot say that.
Because
I saw him put it over my head, turned it, and tied and not tied it. So my underpants, he removed it. And told the cameraman, come and stand. And told me that where we are taking you to, if you don't speak the truth, you will die here. The vultures will eat you. Or you go underground 9 meters.
9 feet, isn't it?
9 feet.
Proceed, please.
Or the crocodiles will eat you. I said to myself, Kalu.
So
what is that?
Kalu inna dillahi wa inna rajiun.
Yes, it's a shocking, somebody who is shocked. It's a type of expression.
It's an expression. Okay, proceed.
So Kalu.
So when I said to myself, Kalu, they told me to
raise my feet.
Raise my leg.
My feet.
-1. -1.
They said if my leg is broken, that's -1.
Time waste.
Let me not waste their time.
So moflo mi emuta.
The two people that
akonye law
told me stand.
Ayembulo sitting coma.
He He tied my hands behind my back.
With what?
With a rope behind me like this. He told me, I have tied you like a tobacco leaf.
In which language?
In the Mandinka language. After he did that, he told the cameraman, come and stand.
Did you see the cameraman?
No, I did not see him.
How do you know he was calling a cameraman?
Because cameraman will be jele. Kabiring interrogate kang.
Because
kabi kansamba cielo fanankono. Cameraman ndandaning camera.
Yes, because the cameraman was there. When we were being interrogated, he was there. He also went with us as we were taken into ourselves. The man that was taking me, the one who was by my right hand side, got a call on his telephone. His colleague said to him, Sir, Tamba, your telephone is ringing.
I'm busy.
And he said to him, I'm busy.
So yen samba.
It took me.
Did you know who that person was before you heard his name?
Yalo ne umari mujumali tinung jani ba tomoila.
Hani malong jamalong.
No, I did not know who he was.
Because I anya maxle.
Because his face was masked.
Kaya sa tamba. Fa mari mistake kaya sa tamba your telephone is ring kaya am busy. Gelo ngalong ko non tamba mansarindi.
But his colleague, I think he made a mistake and said to him, Sir, your phone is ringing, and he said to him, I'm busy. That was when I knew that this was Tamba Masaran.
You had only one name, Tamba. How did you eventually come to know that he was also Mansaring?
Tamba, you talking na mo Tamba. Sa inata long nyadi le kunyinom Tamba Mansarit.
After kabli na court bakiring.
During the court proceedings, our court proceedings,
testimony ke high court.
I gave testimony at the High Court.
Before Justice Kumbasila Kamara.
Before Justice Kumbasila Kamara.
So nga sute wolto.
That was where I recognized him.
And how did you know that his last name was Mansaring?
Yalo nyadi ko atola ba Mansaring.
Nga kontongo moy kodle. So nata realize ko
I heard his name at the court, and then that was when I realized that these were the people who tied me as one will tie a tobacco heap.
Okay, proceed. You were being taken upstairs. You were tied like tobacco heads.
So yen samba dami manjelonde.
Where they took me to, I did not know. When I got there, they told me to lie down.
On what?
Munkang tabulokang.
On the table.
What type of a table was that?
Because
I cannot say because my eyes were tied.
Did you feel the texture?
No.
Was it wood or was it rubber?
Ngamla is metal.
I think it's metal.
So
when I lie down,
was the table moving or it was fixed?
No, I
was told that it was concrete and attached to the floor.
It was attached to the floor by concrete.
So city wala nyam nintabulo.
They tied me on my waist and tied me to chest and tied me against the table.
So kumbalingo city.
They tied my knees too.
Were you on your stomach, lying on your stomach or on your back?
I was made to lie on my stomach.
So inata
they came. They blew on the whistle. They beat me until they were tired and they sat down and rested.
6 or 8.
I think 6 or 8.
How were they dressed?
I cannot say that.
Why?
Because I did not see them. My eyes were tied.
Was it the plastic you still had over your head? Or
yes, it was still over my head. They beat me until I fainted.
Do you know what they were using to beat you?
Bati no le be bulani ning motosimba roba because I no felenjam.
They had buttons and the rubber from the vehicle tires, and the mark of the injury is here. When I came to, somebody hit me on my head, and I sustained an injury. It is still on my head.
You pointed to a mark on your arm. Could you show that?
After they beat me up and I fainted, I was dragged onto the Bahama grass. When I got up from the Bahama, it was cold water which they took and poured over me. And they told me to say that I was asked to go to a demonstration by Oje Jallo.
At this time, where was the cameraman?
He was standing.
What was he doing?
He was doing his work. Whatever they asked him to do, that is what he does.
And what was that?
So
they told me to say, whether I like it or not, that I was sent to demonstrate by Oje Jallo.
Let's take one question back. What was the cameraman doing?
He was recording us.
How did you know this?
He removed the black cloth over my head.
At this stage, you were seeing them. How were they dressed?
No, Council, I cannot remember.
Council, I cannot remember the type of clothes they were dressed in.
Were you able to see their faces?
No, because lampo banyami watu e fenko boninte nyakono nda banyani rimina puru nyae clear puru keje. So after iko mbe fe akane e fenke fingo sendi nyakono. So do nata e noku nyato nkai wo e nyati nya akonye ni nya teta -2. The same thing applied to Oje and Kamine Kumofo Puriatov.
So we were there. So when they removed this cloth from my eyes, because of the lighting system at the time, I was trying to adjust my eyes to be able to see properly. And they said that I was trying to play the fool with them. One of them hit me on my eyes, and I told him, "You are going to spoil my eye." And he said, "If that happens, it will be -2, just like OJ, on whose issue they have been asking me to admit that he sent me out there to protest."
In a sense, this person knew that OJ had been hit before on his eye and was injured on his eye.
Aya lonna wotumo koye oje lipale anyato andunga baramata jele wodali lole ya sabu ayo kumo fo iteyen amunta te yo lonne ko keta oje lal
ha ni aja afonya lonne
yes
o minketa oje la.
If he should tell me it in that way, he must be aware of what had happened to OJ.
And what is the state of your eye at the moment?
Sayen dung nyin tembo inya be nyaadile
nya kilungo tata la hajola la.
One of my eyes, my left eye is
completely useless now.
Did blood come out of the eye?
Amunda yelo bote nya kono le otembo ba.
Nte bolo bem yelo ti kan mira bouché. Nisi bouché.
My entire body was covered in blood. You will even mistaken me for a butcher.
Because I was sucking my blood there.
So you were beaten whilst you were at the grass. They really damaged your eye. What happened after that?
During ye lipa wo be ko laibe bahama nyamo kono je ye nyatinya wo be ko la mun na take
inata ne drosol dunye
came and put back my underpants on me.
At what stage were you electrocuted?
Wati jumale ye mas kurang la
ya kenna wo lodu la fondo because il after minanu ngafo usien da bolem la demuse diakuya ndako na party leader manna silo kam majeje.
They did that to me at that instance because what they wanted me to admit is that I was, or to confess to, is that I was sent on this demonstration by Usenuli Dabo, our party leader, and I told them that he was not there. I did not see him.
You mentioned 2 names you were told to incriminate.
Amunda to fulala fule iko inyanta men laftai yemenu tolu fo.
Oje Jallo.
Oje Jallo.
Usainu Dabo.
Ani Usainu Dabo.
Could you explain that?
Sa isi ofo ban jumalem jumate.
No kabring ta monso wala.
When I
ako yenyin to fulo memfo. Saying jumalem wol
did they mention both names or did they mention just one name? If so, which?
Ye to kilin na foyte ban fodu yenyin to fulo bele foye. Ni to kilin na foye fanan ye jumale to foye.
Ye bele to fonye.
Both of their names were mentioned.
Okay. So they asked you to accept that O.J. Jallo sent you to do this. They also asked you to accept that Alhaji Usainu Dabo sent you to do it.
Munda yenyim foye ko isa foko O.J. Jallo le ki yali ki prale tanyina yenyim fanam foye ko isa foko Alhaji Usainu Dabo le yali ki.
Yes, that was how they planned it.
Access so
that they will have the access to go after them.
So at what stage were you electrocuted?
What did you
tell us how they did it.
No, Bahama kan nimbundindo la banyobala.
On the Bahama is close to a little house there.
So
that is where they had it.
So the
electrocuted me on my private parts as well as on my feet, my soles of my feet, and even now sometimes I used to have some swellings on them.
During the cold season, yeah. Did they tell you, did they say anything while they were electrocuting you?
No, no demonstration na party leader kalamuta.
They said, how could I have gone on a demonstration when my party leader wasn't aware of it?
Did they say their reason for electrocuting you on your genitals?
Dalilo me ya kendi itelbe imasi la kurangola nyatoto.
Yes, they told me.
What did they say?
No, statement of balanko musutambulu.
They said that I said on my statement that I was not married. And that also I had no child. And they said I will only hear that from people.
What do you understand them to mean by that?
No,
they just want to destroy my manhood.
Ya ajam se katofo UDP le deputy party leader
and one
ya munda ugei e konye ko mba milla aninde mbo by force so e konye mba milla le kan wolo nyinti ko e mba mexo lale ngasiena ram masingota nyesene kilinge daha.
One of them even threatened me and said that if I did not implicate Aji Yam Seka Dembo by force and Yamunda Ugei, that they would even castrate me.
So in a sense, you were telling us they were forcing you to lie. And if you did not cooperate by lying, they would castrate you.
Ha kumo betata nata ibo information on nyini kambul ntedum balanda.
Yes, the essence of the whole thing was that statement which they were trying to get from me, but I did not agree.
You said that your foot occasionally swells during the cold season since that incident.
Kabiru ko botala ye imasi kurangola idafatoto tumomenna. Kabiru tembo ni hanimbi ni sumaya dunta amunda singo kotoka funule.
What's the situation now?
Sainga benyadile.
This is about the coldest it gets in Gambia. This is the coldest month.
Amunda yalombe sumaya watol to Gambia banko ka nyintembe no sumaya sembo ka warabake. So isingo benyadile.
Akang batandile barimbo borol takane.
It used to caused me some trouble, but I am taking medication.
Is it swollen now?
Yes, but the swelling is subsiding because I am taking medication.
But one can still see that it's swollen.
Yes.
Do you want to show the commission?
There is no refusal. Once you are ready and you give the go ahead, I will show it.
Please go ahead. Could you take off your sock? You don't have to take it all the way out. Okay. Yeah, that's right. Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. You are taking medication for the swelling.
Yes, yes.
Are you taking medication for anything else?
Yes, I also take medication to try to recover my manhood.
And I hope that is working.
Yes, it's
and you are in the process of recovering.
Yes, my health situation is recovering, but I am not entirely okay at this point.
Okay. On this first night you were there, you were taken on that table and tortured. You were taken to the grass outside and also tortured and electrocuted.
Ye landi tabulo kan. Ye tajire ya kela je ke lipa foi ketuta wokola ye bondije ye samba bahama nyamo kono ye lipa ye ta bahama nyamo kono tumolem ye kurangota ye imasi ala.
While this is happening to you, what happened to your colleagues? Excluding Sandeng.
Solo Sandeng da bori moje.
Ha nga kafu bayo mwela ba wurkam Bahama ka ba frale nyinkati.
I heard Kafu Bayo screaming on the Bahamas saying that you broke my tooth, you broke my tooth.
Do you know how that happened?
Yalon ne fo keta nyamemba.
Kafu kabri ba sambakang.
When they were taking Kafu, they told him that we are going to kill you. But when he comes here, he's going to clarify that very clearly.
Tell us, he may not come here.
I heard Kafu saying, you broke my tooth with a hammer, you broke my tooth with a hammer.
5 nights
The day that we had our 5th night at Bambadinka, at that time, all of us had recovered because a doctor usually came there to check on us.
What's the name of the doctor?
They call him Lamin Lang Sanyang.
Is he a medical doctor or he just practices as a doctor?
Atelung doctor rolo meyo doctoria karang aya London soto fodum amunda ta ka jara role ke dron ten
woman koy ma bari min koyta ika afay doctor.
That is not clear to me. What is clear to me though is that they call him doctor.
And he treated you.
And atele te makoy fanan jara role karol.
Baro wato ndenga realize luso min babulu ndenga realize wolto yar fanka yelole sumna.
Yes, but at that time he had a torchlight, and then that was when I realized that when I urinated, it was blood that I urinated. But we were separated from the women.
Fatumata Jawara, Nogoy
Njai, Fatu Kamara, they were on their own. We were on our own too.
At what stage were you separated?
That morning was when we were separated.
But the first night you were all together?
Bara amunta suto follow nyingal bebe nyokande no.
Ni nogoy banyo kan fo suto ya bondige.
Yes, we were.
Man naje fo lungo mina police ol nata kan statement ota iko antumange lawyer antumange anala timo mol Gambia ba association e samani roke ne kitio ba kiti bonto ye infintindi wol non tan yaay nogoy wolje.
We were together with Nogoy, but in the night they came and took her away, and that was the last time I saw her until we heard that Antumange and the Gambia Bar Association had initiated a court case on our behalf.
How many times were you tortured?
Yete tajire ya sinya jelule ke lipa.
Sinya saba.
3 times.
You have told us about 2 incidents.
Amunda ya sinya fulale fo follow.
Tell us about the third.
Sabanja onyingo fo nyabang.
So wo yenkumandile.
For that one, I was called.
So which date? On which day?
Lunjuma kono.
Wo lungo fo.
That same day.
Yenkumandile selo kono.
They called me from the cell.
Eko ngafo diakuya.
They said they should say by force that we, the people of Tujareng, that we love Usenu Dabo so much.
Especially ne ki sponsora minga lonka kara na fulo di mola Umar Bite.
Especially our chief sponsor Umar Bite, who used to spend this money. That I should say force by force that he does not like Yaya Jammeh, and his money that he gives to us. They got information that they know his compound, where his compound is located. They said the day that we went on the mass rally in Kafute, I was on top on the truck, and I was pointing my fingers down to Yaya Jammeh.
So
they showed me that clip.
Karafa Sise na campaign manager Tanje Nkola tete.
Karafa Sise from Tanje, our campaign manager.
So eko last kadiamu Baba Gale Jalole.
They said I last spoke to Baba Gale Jallo.
Olon Sane Mentereng Kole MPT.
That is the MP of Sane Mentereng.
Oh, not this one.
No.
All right, proceed.
So aning fenke famous Binta Jawara Burfoot.
And the famous Binta Jawara of Burfoot.
So iko ibanyul be mutani Mariama Janke Burfoot.
And Mariama Janke also from Burfoot. They said they were going to arrest all of these people.
In a sense, the NIA had a lot of information about your prior activities.
Amunta NIA ulu ye kibar jamale soto atella kuluto aliyemenu jamata mandinu komando.
Because ikabulanne kulle nokam.
Yes, because they were following our issues a lot.
So Binta Jawara e famous Binta Jawara ani Mariama Janki atem lady council ti Sane Mentereng ward.
Binta Jawara, famous Binta Jawara, and Mariama Janki.
Sane Mentereng ward.
Sane Mentereng ward, yeah.
And they are chairman by Yankuba Jammeh.
The chairman by Yankuba Jammeh.
So at that stage, how were you tortured for this third time?
Silo lung ni tajire ya sabanjango me ya kela ye mune kela ye tilimbaliano nyadile.
So iko nde tafa sose.
They said nde tafa sose.
Ndeni woka diamule.
That I communicate with her.
Ndemande tafa sose long.
And I do not know nde tafa sose.
Nde tafa sose kabrava Gambia Press Union ne president.
When she was president of the Gambia Press Union. That was when I came to know her.
And I mantelon personally.
And she does not even know me personally. But I know her. And many other officials.
No, the public office that she occupied. That's how I came to know her.
So no idea.
So I said to them, no idea. They beat me and they destroyed all of my body. So So it was my blood that I used to suckle and drink.
Why were you doing that?
Because I was thirsty and unable to drink.
So
blood was oozing from this part of my hand, so I used to suck it and drink it back.
Did you tell them you needed water?
I told them, but they said that I will not drink there.
Do fo konya ko fatu kamara nata janne akaba sundine ning aramiso ngaso jiola ngaeta sungotela jang.
One of them if he said to me, Fatu Kamara came here and said that she was fasting this Thursday, but I told her that she will not drink any water here. I also saw Nogo Njai. At that juncture, she was tussling with them, pushing and pulling. So they said they were going to Tuyeren to pick up Omar Bite. Since he was the one that gave us money, the people from Tuyeren. They told me that we were going to detain him in one place. So Mr. Bite demonstration. Nogo said to them, "Did you see Mr. Bite on the road demonstrating?" So and that was how they got into this tussle. They broke a finger in my presence. And then she said to them, "If you wish, break this other one." And she was using very crude words towards them. And whenever they insulted her, she insulted back. When they insulted my mother, I used to keep quiet. But if you insult Nogo's mother, she pays back.
She said that the head of state is somebody who does things willfully, and he doesn't fit them. So she will do whatever she wishes. So do kay ko ngaminke baba lila mbole kelela mbe butele ngi sare fu kanda ko nim baba li mankilia imam baba li because yente treating wala kabi konte mbe sare fu kanda nganna bal dundile. One of them told Nogai that we will put you in a sack, tie you up, and a crane, we will hang you on a crane and winch you up, and then we will release you from that crane, you will fall down. And she told them, if you do that, I will know that you are really men. One of them said to her that what we did to Babali is what we are going to do. We'll do the same thing to you.
And that is, we are going to bury you.
And that we are going to bury you up to your neck.
And then, how did he respond?
And I jabi nyadile.
No, ite
jabi nyadile.
Well, I was just listening because I had already given up.
Given up on what?
I was quiet, looking at them as dead, just like dead meat, and they were tussling with Nogoy. So that was where I saw Kafubayo, but where he was lying down, he was in coma.
So he had fainted.
He had fainted. So that was how they took him away to Bambadinka cell.
Yeah, Bambadinka cell kono ya dundi wolto.
So Ibrahim Jaban fanan kindi ate fanan mantara conscious ring.
Ibrahim Jaban too was not conscious. He too was taken.
Ate fanan kindi wala nyama ya dundi Bambadinka.
They took him inside the Bambadinka.
So yente kumo muta ya bula barko kono.
They took my head and they pushed it into a barrel which was containing dirty water.
So
when they took me from there, they slapped me several times. They took me to Bambadinka and placed me there, and they told me that we are going after Karafasise in Tanje. They said to me, your Tanje rally, many of the cost for the chairs was paid for by Pasoli. Organizing team. And they said to me, and you are the one who is a member of the organizing team. They said to me, you will die. They said to me also, your female ustaz will die, who was Aramatu Demba.
Aramata Demba. It seems that the NIA knew very much about your organization.
That is the way it was.
You were actually very much infiltrated.
Yes.
both physically and also in your communications.
La chokinyolo la karola le kanyomo nyamin aning alla moya fangokono.
So mbije ndefadantata ketu.
Yes, we were there, and I also fainted.
So after manna nogoye yarfa mbondi nyokan.
Later, I did not see Nogoye. Behold, we were separated.
So, but apart from the beatings and the electrocutions, did they use any other means of torture against any one of your members?
Namanke liparoti anin kali masi kurangola for dimindirinya do fanan sotontale ye menkala ka fendo ta kali dimindi.
Nga Ibrahima Jaba moila kanya complaina ko ya marama nya tinyale.
I heard Ibrahima Jabang complaining about his left ear that
Anya kodi
marama nya ha.
Yeah, left eye was destroyed.
Anu wolbe kono be fututa fonte killing.
And all of them were married except me. And I was the youngest amongst them.
So and, how about any other means of torture?
No, I'm not aware of that.
Any injections?
Alhamdulillah, la fam pengula numbinegaro because no goyle jabi kuma nonsense bala.
Thank you. They wanted to inject me with vinegar because Nogoy had responded to them very harshly and in a very crude manner.
So, what did Nogoy say?
Nogoy yemunefo.
No, iko Nogoy ko itele lota bundu meeting oto.
They said to Nogoy, you are the one that stood at the bundu meeting.
Imansile malu.
And you were not afraid, you were not ashamed.
Iko ya jamme.
You said ya jamme.
Kabiring ya jamme akatau Gambia musolale nal kanunu ngatita Morocco eta muso bondije.
That Yaya Jammeh is doing things deliberately on Gambian women, that if he had loved them, he wouldn't have gone all the way to Morocco to seek for a wife.
Akalo akafa altul kanule.
And then he stands and tells you that he loves you.
Akafo mole murun kunkoto.
He tells people to return back to the farms.
Ala vision 2020 about fail lale.
That his vision 2020 is going to fail. They asked Nogoy about that and she said yes, she said that and she likes it.
So jelong modo kamfati kono.
It was there that one of them got angry.
No ndaflo no jamalo.
I cannot say who it was.
Ibe maxle.
All of them were putting on their masks.
Kotanne officier binegaro fe na ngana yumbe penguye fa.
Said to someone, go to my office and bring the vinegar. Let me inject these people and let them all die. Nogoy said to him, do it and let me see. So I minki. So the one that he sent, he took the vinegar and took it into the generator machine room and hid it there. So he looked for it until he was tired, he couldn't find it. So Tamba Mansare city nga kausute. Tamba Mansare, who tied me up, I recognize his voice. Ngamoyaka foko fema jengal city kota bakumo alkalka mansala kajafi. Farmaro mansasembo wartal. I heard him say, do you not see that I have tied you as one who tied the tobacco heads? You want to oppose the president and say bad things about him? Do you not know that the president is powerful? They did not see the vinegar and they did not get to inject us eventually.
That would have poisoned your system.
But
do you know whether, in fact, some other form of poison was used against any of your members?
Yes, Langmarong was poisoned. How do I know that?
When we were removed from the NIA, before that, we spent 14 days at the NIA.
But Dr. Lamin Lansanyang,
he went and bought new gowns for myself, Kafujabang, and Ekaninjuma. Kafubayo and Ibrahim Jabang.
Nogoy
Njai.
Fatu Kamara Farmara Jawara.
Fatu Kamara and Farmara Jawara.
I molfale sawole.
He bought Mumfe.
Molfa sulalle ni
Molfa.
Abaya.
The abaya that Moors usually use.
It's wrap around.
Good. Wala.
Meaning ifana.
So kaftan kuto kabra afena.
So when he brought this new gown,
a long kontita no court.
He knew that we cannot go to the court.
Ako operation commander ko nyinul nyante treat lale.
He said to the operation commander that we should treat these people. If you take these people to the court in this shape, people will know the secret existing here. Because at that time, some people had already known what's at the NIA.
So they brought you new clothes which you could wear to court.
Yes, that's the way they wanted.
Okay, but in this meantime, you have come to learn about the poisoning of your colleague. Come and tell us about that.
Because Lamaron na brother long former Vice President Sekou Sabali.
Because Langmarong is a brother to the former Vice President Sekou Sabali.
So, andung they accused Sekou Sabali.
And they accused Sekou Sabali.
Udeta jama biyang atelaka sponsor.
Many failed coups that happened in this country were sponsored by him.
It was alleged that
it was alleged, yes,
that he sponsored all these failed coups.
So ndeko so Langmarong so ya dalele because anin Sekou Sabali dentale.
So Langmarong's mouth was forced open because he is related to Sekou Sabali.
Kotolon Sekou Sabali.
His older brother is Sekou Sabali.
Akonya kabiya bute.
He said to me when they beat him up
akoya nungole muta.
That they held his nose
akoye poisino keye.
And they put poison there.
Where did they put the poison?
Inside his mouth.
And then what happened?
And the person put his hand way inside. When he said this to me, I said, but you should have beaten the hand of this individual. He said to me, I was beaten such that I was not in control of myself anymore. He said to me, it's called something.
So yentol bondi NIA.
So they took us from the NIA. With Nogoy and others.
After how many days?
14 days. Nga wala soto NIA mbabambadinka susulal kanki niemburo di mola ningino la katala.
We were in Babadinka for 14 days, bitten by mosquitoes, and when we are served bread, we usually shared it with the rats.
Because niemburo king nia landi fombala ninol sa chokot. Because
when you
bite a piece of the bread and you put it down on the ground, the rats will take their share.
In the end, what we did was buy canned drinks for us to drink.
So NIA do bigi canned drink ko nati mole.
There was one NIA officer who brought canned drinks for us. And he said to us, if you are served plazas, do not eat it. He said, it is all poison. I said, it's okay.
Were you served plazas?
Once.
Yes, once.
So
we just fiddled with it and we'll place it down.
So 14 days so kabinga banta NIA.
At the completion of the 14 days at the NIA, the day that the police came to take our statements, on that day, I was made to sit down and I was read 7 charges. I denied all of the allegations.
Before this stage, were you allowed to communicate with members of your family?
That never happened.
Were you allowed to speak to a lawyer?
No, it never happened.
Were you taken before a judge?
That is where I'm coming to.
The question is before the 14th day. Were you taken before a judge?
That never happened.
So on the 14th day, they brought in the police.
Yes.
And they took your statements.
They
took our statements, but where we gave the statement, the office in which we gave the statement, was Daudandur's office, is from Tujarang. We gave the statement inside his office. In fact, when I got into his office, truly, I did not greet him. He did not greet me. The police sat down. They took down my statement. They read the 7 charges against me. And I denied them. They spread them out for us in Bambadinka. I saw them open the doors to the cell.
Operation Commander Nada Se Omar Jeng.
The operations commander, Se Omar Jeng, came and said to my dad Jabang to quit cigarettes.
So I fake named Dintolla.
He gave us fake names.
Akatomu Lamin Sedi Balti.
He said his name was Lamin Sediba. I told him, you do not know that you are in with bandits. I said to myself, inside the PIU hall, you were addressed as Sergeant.
So,
so evening came.
I fenko fenang mini boso.
They brought a minibus and told us that that Costa was going to take each one of us to our compound gates.
So
So the balance from our breakfast money,
I was the molla.
He gave that to us.
How much?
I 125 ngamla will dindela.
I think he gave me 125.
So
So he gave my colleagues their money.
So I could not go in Ajaratu.
And said to Nogo Njai, Ajaratu.
Nogo Njai say Omar Jeng Katale.
Nogo said to him, say Omar Jeng, we are going.
So how about the name, Sediba?
No,
we knew that it was just playing the bandit game on us.
How did he respond when Nogoy called him Sergeant?
He said to Nogoy, Aja, you are going.
So Fatmara Jawara Omar Danko ka chief.
Fatmara Jawara did not respond to him. She was just hissing at him.
So Nimboido Fanang bota boso kono.
We boarded the bus with one other boy also.
Atomu Lalo Masane Jawlalti.
His name was Lalo Masane Jaw.
Yate arrest Westfield.
He was arrested at Westfield.
Was he a member of your group or he was just a bystander?
No, he's a bystander, but he's a Minkoita Nako Percano, UDP member long. Yedobo Keba Bonsungo, Yawala Jala Telefono Kono. So Yasamba and I detained Barima Bute.
So what happened was that he was a bystander, but at the Westfield, they arrested him there. But when they checked inside his phone, a former well-famous and religious person called Dobo Kemo, Ngamereko Dobo Kemo, they saw that person's initials inside this young man's phone. They took him to the NIA, but they didn't beat him.
What is the significance of that? Is that person a member of the UDP?
Because ako lungomine usienu nyol muta UDP la parti lidane anala entire executive wo wularo lo yate muta jakaranda abala funo finga kan iko ya tumi ko itolla ka information di Fatu Sola anim Panderim Bay anim Bamba Mas.
Yeah, he was arrested at the Westfield because it was the day that Hussein Dabo and his party executive members were arrested. So he was fingering his phone, so they accused him that he's the person who used to send messages to Bamba Mas and Fatu Kamara and Injuma.
And Panderim Bay.
And Panderim Bay.
Were you taken home?
Silandungu lungu memfo inatali saying the aliyaleba.
Janni wo mbaje jabila nyinata point kilina ye UDP la sympathizer do fanam fena mon kuke bawo nga meeting wala ke kafuta tumbu 2015 e ka fay dembo SW itata fanang arrest abota sal fana salo jami on ya arrest ya samana NIA ya detain je.
Council assistants and kindly ask the witness to shorten his statements.
Okay, please. He said Dembo from Kafuta.
Dembo member Kafuta ya telephone mutabota. He was just from praying at the mosque, and after he left the mosque, he was arrested and brought also to the NIA.
Dembo, was he part of the demonstration?
No.
Okay.
He was just arrested because he was a UDP sympathizer.
Yes. And lunga meeting ola Kafuta Tumbu.
The day that we are having our meeting at Kafuta Tumbu,
ila bakang
by the highway,
police nate ko mole ko heki kabo kanila akana Banjul.
The police came and informed us that the HE was coming from Kanilai, returning back to the Combo. And we honored them.
So Dembo SW meeting o Gia.
Dembo SW hosted that meeting.
Ngamne UDP nkolje siari nge nyami. Bankuti o tambita ntol man femfaye. Anu maneng mankuma jaw fama.
The president passed, and we did not do anything to him. We didn't insult him or say any harsh words to him.
So, ngamira wo ko dimina latina ye Dembo SW arrest.
I think the pain of that was the reason why Dembo SW was arrested.
And we boita te kana damanta demonstration auto.
And they just troubled him because he was not part of the demonstration.
So where were you taken?
In Samba Mile 2 Central Prison.
They took us to the Mile 2 Central Prison.
How did you react when you see the vehicle turning into Mile 2 instead of to the direction of the combos to your house as you were promised?
Say ya lillahi dikoy bali sambala falla korda dala bari birina ta motoyi atunde ta yetilinga bitala Mile 2 kaso kono fadun taje yo je nyadile
Nogoy ya fanye se Umar Genyala ko.
Nogoy told me in the presence of Sir Omar Jeng that
ko ikan Samba Mile 2 le.
That they were taking us to Mile 2.
Sir Umar Jengel ta kay ko aja amanke woti.
Sir Umar laughed and said to her, Aja, that is not the case.
So police only escort in paral.
The police and the paramilitary escorted us.
Yen Samba Mile 2.
They took us to Mile 2.
Me and receive following operation commandati.
We were received by the operations commander.
What's in department.
Prisons department.
What's his name?
Chief Torturer Ijamme.
Chief Torturer Ijamme.
How do you know he's Chief Torturer? Why did you call him Chief Torturer?
Mina ya kumandi Chief Torturer. Yo lo nyadi le ka kumandi Chief Torturer.
Ngo lo nyami.
How I got to know that.
Kana Mile 2 Central Prison maximum security in Tolbadami.
He used to come to the maximum security wing where we were.
Akamodol fintindi.
He used to take some people outside
kati bute
and beat them.
Because anene fenke mutanyala ya bute je sika kola. Anene mo mutanyala je ya bute sika kola.
He once beat up had somebody beaten up because of cigarette.
Ramses.
He destroyed all of his body.
Because Ramses.
Nala
nyolongo kasoko nolong.
We got to know each other inside prison.
So olatina ijame atlento receive anwa akontole atom Ibrahim Jameldi.
And that was why he was one that received us, and he told us that his name was Ibrahim Jammeh.
All right, and
so
what happened at Mile 2 prisons?
So David Kolifana Nata and receive.
So David Colley also came and received us.
So symbol badole bije.
There was a big symbol there. That was what they put over my neck, and we were taking a photograph of. And my colleagues too were photographed the same way. I saw David Colley. He said that he does not want cigarettes inside Mile 2. He does not want money from us.
He does not want to see money in our possession.
Okay. And that we are very dangerous people. Nogoy told him that we are not dangerous people.
So
someone was behind him. I don't know whether he was his oldie or not. Who said to Nogoy, do you not know that you are speaking to the Director General? And Nogoy said to the orderly, we are the ones that pay his salary by the taxes we pay. Someone who does not know anything is the one that you can fool, but no one will trick me, Nogoy in this world.
And for how long were you at Mile 2 prison?
Mile 2 kasola.
Yen separate, yen told samba maximum security, military confinement.
We were separated and we were taken to maximum confinement.
Maximum security military confinement. How many of you?
Myself, Modungom.
Kafubayo. Ibrahima
Jabang.
Masane Lalo Jawla.
Lalo Jawle.
Nogoy Njai. Fatu Kamara.
Fatumata Jawara.
And the rest?
We found them there.
Musol samba female wing, yekel samba male wing.
They